وبرضه يطلع لك النتائج بظرف ثواني. ليش؟ عشانه عم يستخدم اصلا الجوجل نفسه.
Anyway, we come back to the subject of respect. If you respect Allah, and you respect His Prophet, and you respect your parents, and the Muslims, and your family, and the people around you, and you give the real respect, then, and only then, are you living up to the hadith I'm going to mention to you now.
إذا نرجع لموضوع الاحترام، إذا احترمت يعني أعطيت حق الله عز وجل، احترمت النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وأهلك والجيران وكل ما ورد فيه احترام، بس عندها حتطبق الحديث، حديث النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام اللي حيذكره دحين. تفضل يا شيخ.
This hadith is one of the most quoted and most misunderstood and most troublesome for us today.
هذا الحديث من أكثر الأحاديث اللي يرد ذكر هذا الحديث، ومن أكثر الحديث اللي يساء تأويله، ومن أكثر الأحاديث اللي يشكل على الناس، سبب لهم إشكال في فهمه يعني.
This hadith is one that is used by the people who like to spread fitna and do it in the name of Salaf as-Salih.
هذا الحديث يعني يستخدم لمن يريد أن يروج الفتنة باسم اتباع السلف الصالح.
And they couldn't be further away from real Salaf as-Salih when they do this, because they're lying. By only quoting half of a hadith is the same as lying.
وهم أبعد الناس عن هذول السلف الصالح لأنهم يكذبون، أنه من استدل بجزء من الحديث عفوا وأعرض عن الجزء الثاني عمدا، هذا كذب.
In this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Ad-din an-nasiha." The deen or the way of Islam is to give nasiha.
والحديث هو الدين النصيحة. الدين النصيحة.
But that's not all of it. That is not all of it.
لا ليست نهاية الحديث.
So what these people will do, they come to you, "Akhi, الدين النصيحة. Astaghfirullah." And then they begin to tell you something. Maybe you have a mistake. Maybe he wants to tell you your izar is too long, your beard is too short, your miswak is too fat.
أمثل ولا لا؟ يعني واحد منهم يجيك يبغى ينصحك، يقول لك اديني نصيحة، اديني نصيحة، يبغى يقول لك ثوبك طويل أو لحيتك قصيرة أو السواك غليظ.
Actually it said izar, not thobe.
إزار، اللباس ما يلبس في أسفل الجسد. Good, actually.
This ما في. When don't translate Arabic to Arabic. No, it's not funny. Whoa. Let me tell you how dangerous this is. This is another subject. It's another subject. But let me finish this hadith. This is a very dangerous subject. But the hadith continues, and they said, "Nasiha to who?" And he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah, wa kutubihi, his kitab, his book, his prophet, the wali amr, the Muslims, and the general public.
كمالة الحديث أنا أخطأت في العبارة، مو الثوب، لأنه في أشياء أخرى تندرس. جزاه الله خير، forgive me يا شيخ. وهذا موضوع خطير فعلا الترجمة، بس غفر الله لي. المهم نرجع، مو الثوب، أي لباس، إزار. نرجع للحديث. النصيحة، الدين نصيحة لمن؟ لله، كملوا، ولكتابه ولرسوله ولأئمة المسلمين وعامتهم.
Can you tell Allah, you're going to tell Allah advice? You're going to say, Allah, you know what, maybe you made the neck of the giraffe too long. I don't like that. It looks kind of funny to me. Or maybe you made the seed inside, the seed inside the mango takes up too much space. I wish you'd make it smaller. You're going to advise Allah like this? Astaghfirullah. That's stupid.
هل يمكن أحد أن ينصح الله عز وجل كان يقول مثلا الزرافة أو زرافة يعني عنقها طويل، أو العجوة في المانجو كبيرة صغيرة، هل يعني يجوز الواحد يعني يأتي بهذه الأشياء؟
So it means that's not the meaning of the word. You don't advise Allah, you don't advise His book, you don't give advice to the Prophet ﷺ. You're never going to meet the Wali Amr anyway, so forget that. And you're not going to know all of the people that you're talking about. So it means a different word, and the ulama said it. In this case, nasiha doesn't mean advice. It means to give respect.
فيقول يعني الحقيقة أنه لا أحد حينصح الله عز وجل، ولا ينصح كتاب الله، ولا ينصح رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، وولي الأمر أصلا ما حد قابله، فانسى هذا الموضوع، وما حد ممكن تقابل عامة المسلمين عامة، تقابل كل واحد. إذا المفهوم النصيحة هنا ليس النصيحة اللي نفهمها الناس كما ذكر العلماء أولا، إنما مقصود النصيحة الاحترام.
Islam gave us many beautiful examples of how to give respect in all cases, especially in the case where you see somebody making a mistake. It shows us how to give the respect. When somebody makes a mistake, you don't embarrass them, you don't hurt their feelings, you do not stretch their dignity.
الإسلام ضرب أروع الأمثلة في يعني الاحترام. حتى عندما تريد أن توجه أحد أو تنصح أحد، لابد أن يعني تراعي شعور هذا الإنسان، ما تخدش شعوره، ما تجرحه، ما تهينه، ما تقلل من شأنه. حتى عندما يخطئ الإنسان وتبغى تنصحه لازم يكون في احترام.
And this respect that we're talking about can be understood from one good example that we have from the hadith of the grandsons of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
وممكن نفهم موضوع هذا الاحترام في حديث فيما يتعلق في أحفاد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Let us suppose that we have from our youth today some who could see somebody making a mistake and they're making their wudu the wrong way. Would they go up and say, "Yeah, Sheikh, you're stupid, you don't know how to make wudu"?
قال لو فرضنا واحد من الشباب هنا يعني رأى رجل لا يحسن الوضوء، ممكن يروح يقول له أنت غبي، ما تعرف تتوضأ.
Most likely they would know about the hadith. We probably taught them this hadith so they would not make that mistake.
الراجح أو غالب إنه يعرفون هذا الحديث لأنه علمناهم هذا الحديث فما حيسووا هذا الخطأ.
And the hadith is when Hassan and Hussein, the grandchildren of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they saw one Sheba and he is making wudu, but it's not right. So instead of telling him he made a mistake, they said, "Sir, Yashab, will you judge between us who is making the wudu the best way?" And they both made the wudu, and he realized he's making a mistake, and he changed, he made his wudu again. And they never scratched his dignity. They gave him what? Respect.
تعرفون حديث الحسن والحسين رضي الله عنهما، يعني لما شافوا شيبة يتوضأ ولكن لم يحسن الوضوء، ما قالوا مباشرة، قالوا يا شيخ ممكن تشوف الوضوء حقي وحقه وتحكم بيننا مين يعني أصح. فسوى مأمور الرجال فهم من التصرف أن وضوءه خطأ وعدل في وضوءه، ووصلوا له المعلومة بدون ما يخدشوا شعور هذا الرجل مطلقا.
Now I want to come back to our subject of our channel again, because what I'm doing is putting commercials in the middle of this talk.
نرجع لموضوع القناة لأنه عم نحط إعلانات أثناء الكلام.
People ask us, how can you give it away free and you don't have any commercials? How?
الناس يسألون كيف تقدم هذا كله ببلاش وما عندك إعلانات؟ إنه الإعلانات مصدر، كيف ببلاش القناة بدون إعلانات؟
I have a secret.
عنده سر.
In the night I do Qiyam al-Layl and I cry to Allah and I have a special dua I ask Allah.
يقوم الليل ويدعو الله عز وجل وعنده دعاء خاص يسأله الله عز وجل.
It might surprise you the way that I do this.
قد تستغرب أو تتفاجأ من الطريقة اللي يقوم بهذا الشيء.
Because I don't say, Allah give us money, help us, Allah give us money. I don't do that.
ما يقول اللهم أعطنا مال ساعدنا يعني نبغى المال، ما يقول هذا.
Actually it's like this. Allahumma, do not give us any money except what has your barakah. And Allah, don't give us any people except you love them. And make us of the people you love.
في المقابل يقول لهم لا تعطينا مالا إلا مال فيه بركة، ولا تسخر لنا إلا ناس تحبهم.
And make us of the ones that you love.
وجعلنا ممن تحبهم.
For 1 year and 3 months I've been making this dua, and that's when Allah gave us the channel, gave us the people. First thing He did, He gave me the people. Amazing people came to me and joined me in this project that I could never have ever found them or paid them. And many of them, they just came and said, let me join. I'll do what I can as much as I can.
الشيخ صار له سنة و3 أشهر يدعو بهذا الدعاء، ويعني ببركة هذا الدعاء إن شاء الله أعطي القناة والناس، وقبل القناة الناس. يعني جوا عند الشيخ ناس يعني مرة كويسين، استفاد منهم وقدموا خدماتهم بدون يعني أي حاجة ممكن يسووها، تبرعوا بأوقاتهم إلى آخره لمساعدة الشيخ.
When we started doing this, you might be surprised at how many people regularly start supporting, even with small, tiny amounts. One boy, he pledged $1 a month, but it had barakah in it.
ويعني الناس كل واحد يعني يساعد على قدر ما يستطيع، حتى ولد صغير يعني قرر انه شهريا يعطي $1 واحد، يعني 3 ريال و75 هذا او 76 هذا، ولكن فيها بركة.
And we treasure that $1 every month, maybe more than anything else, because we know how much is going into this. And really, this is not new to me, because Christianity taught the same thing. The problem is the people who don't practice it. I didn't find practicing Christians really who did it. And for a long time, I didn't really see the Muslims who would do this. But now we're insisting to the Muslims to know another hadith, and I'm going to be ending with this hadith.
يقول فهم يعني يتطلعون إلى هذا $1 الواحد، لأنه يعرفون يعني جاي من أحد عنده هم ويعني كل قلبه في هذا المبلغ اللي عم يعطيه شهريا. هو على كل حال هذا المفهوم مفهوم موجود أصلا عند النصارى، ولكن عند المسلمين بس كثير من الناس ما يعرف يعني ما يطبقوا في حقيقة الأمر، وهو حيجيب حديث لينهي فيه أو يختم فيه الكلام.
Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us an amazing concept that actually works more than anything I've ever seen in my life. All my years in business, all of my years in making millions. Even, by the way, I used to own airplanes. But I never saw anything work as successful as following this one hadith.
الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام علمنا مفهوم لم يرى في حياته يعني شيء أنفع وأفضل في نتائج من تطبيق هذا الحديث. وقال هو في الأول كان يعني يملك طائرات، ولكن ما في حاجة وجدها أنفع من حديث واحد من أحاديث النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام.
He said, and it means Allah loves the thing which is done regularly, even if it is small, more than He loves the thing which is big, but it's only done once. Again, think about it. Allah, He loves what is done regularly. Like salah. More, even if it's small. Even if it's small, more than something big, but it's only done once.
الحديث
You know the hadith?
I know the hadith, but I can't recall every word in it.
Who knows the hadith exact word?
قليل دائم خير من كثير منقطع. نعم، قليل دائم خير من كثير منقطع. الحمد لله. جزاكم الله خير. You got translators.
This, by the way, is another proof of Islam. There's not two versions. There's only one Islam, one Quran, one Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And no matter where I go in the world, I can find people, they know the ayah. If I make a mistake, they can help me. They know the hadith. If I mess up, they can say, no, Shaykh, it was like this and this. No other religion has this. This is another haqq in Islam. Alhamdulillah.
وهذا اللي صار الآن دليل على أنه الإسلام حق، وأنه في إسلام واحد، ما في إسلامين أو إسلامين. والدليل أنه أي مذهب في العالم إن استدل بآية أو حديث تحصل الناس يعرفون الآية ويعرفون الحديث، ولو أخطأ الشيخ يصوبونه. فهذا دليل على أنه هذا غير موجود في أي ديانة أخرى. دلالة على أنه الإسلام دين الله عز وجل، دين الحق.
And finally, that's the end of the talk, but I would like to encourage all of you, you've got your 20-year celebration, and this is very beautiful, a very wonderful thing. Keep doing this and keep giving the respect to Allah, His Messenger, to your parents, to the family, and to all of the people, because this is what will give us the real tawfiq with Allah.
في النهاية يقول يعني ما شاء الله صار لكم 20 سنة، استمروا فيما أنتم عليه من تقدير واحترام الله عز وجل ورسوله والأهالي والجيران وجميع الناس، واستمروا فيما أنتم عليه واسعوا في هذا الشيء، لأنه ما يأتي التوفيق إلا بهذه الجهود.
And I would like to mention, if you would like to do any good things to help us do the da'wah, especially in America and Canada, whenever there's any flight, any captain of the ship, you know, he can do a lot of stuff that we can't do. But one of the things they can do is bring books to us. And the translation of Quran called Sahih International, this is the one that we're using. It's very effective. It's very smooth, easy to read, and it has the right meanings, inshallah, as much as possible. It's impossible to get it perfect, but at least it's very good. Oh, I did have one more thing. Let's say that, and then I'll finish.
من الأشياء اللي ممكن يعني لو أحد أراد يساعد أو يدعم الشيء، خاصة يعني قواد الطائرات، لأنه عندهم صلاحيات معينة غير اللي موجودة عند باقي الناس. أثناء السفر لو ممكن يعني يشيلوا معهم نسخة من ترجمة القرآن بالإنجليزي اللي يسويها لصحيح انترناشونال، تعتبر دقيقة هذا، سلسة الكلام أو العبارة، جيدة جدا، ما فيها كمال، ما في أحد عنده كمال، بس تعتبر من أفضل فعلا تراجم المعاني القرآن الكريم للغة الإنجليزية. وعنده حاجة أخرى بس أراد أن يترجم هذه الجزئية.
Earlier I told you I would explain something about translating a word into its own language, the danger of it. I must tell you this thing before we leave tonight. It's very critical to know this.
وعدتكم في الأول أنه حتكلم عن يعني خطر ترجمة عبارة في اللغة نفسها، فالموضوع مهم جدا، فالله يعيني.
There is one translation of Quran. I wish you would tell people not to bring it until they fix it. It's called the Noble Quran by Muslim Khan and Muhammad Hilali. I love the work they did. They did great work, but this mistake they made is unacceptable. It is an unacceptable mistake, and anybody who's alim should have caught this.
الموضوع عن نسخة ترجمة القرآن تقي الدين هلالي ومحسن علي خان اللي اسمها نوبل القرآن، فيها خطأ فادح غير مقبول، فيعني يحذر جميع الإخوان من هذه النسخة. كان ينبغي يعني المفروض العالم أن يعني يدرك هذه الخطأ وهذه الجزئية.
This mistake has cost us literally lives. People have died because of this mistake. Many of the Christians of America have no problem going into Muslim countries today and killing us because they understood the wrong thing from this translation.
هذا الخطأ أدى إلى يعني أن تزهق أرواح ناس ماتوا بسبب هذا الخطأ في الترجمة، وأتاح لغير المسلمين أن يدخلوا إلى بلاد المسلمين ويقتلونهم بسبب سوء ترجمة هذه الآية.
The word is jihad. This word jihad, and you know what it means. It means any kind of struggling or striving or working really, really hard to get a job done. It could be used in many, many ways.
وهذه الكلمة هي كلمة الجهاد. تعرفون معنى الجهاد اللفظي أنه تشمل أي جهد، أي عمل، أي حاجة تسويه تحاول تبغى توصل لهدف، فكل هذا داخل في مفهوم لفظ الجهاد.
When they complete this big building in Mecca, the one with the clocks, you know the big building with the clocks,
yes,
yeah? Okay, when they complete it, they will say, we made juhud.
لما أتموا يعني عمارة الساعة اللي في الحرم الآن، برج الساعة، جزاك الله خير، فيقولون يعني سوينا جهد، وضعنا جهد يعني العمارة في العمارة.
And when scholars work to get the answer to a question, they have to study and find the answer, and this is called ijtihad.
والعلماء عندما يريدون أن يصلوا إلى معلومة معينة أو يستنبطوا حكم معين، برضو نقول العالم سوى اجتهاد.
And when people go out for the sake of Allah, and they're willing to give their actual wealth and their lives to uphold the banner of truth and righteousness, this is also called jihad.
وعندما يخرج المسلم في سبيل الله ويضحي بنفسه وماله لإعلاء كلمة الله ولتكون كلمة الله هي العليا، هذا أيضا جهاد.
But when this word is used in the wrong place in the Quran, look what happens. They actually ban the Quran in California. They cannot put this Quran in any of the public libraries.
ولكن لما أساءوا ترجمة هذه العبارة منع يعني هذا القرآن من بولاية كاليفورنيا، منع من أن يوجد في المكاتب.
In English, in Surah Baqarah, in Ayah 190 and Ayah 191, the English translation says, fight them if they fight you, but you stop if they stop. Verily, you would become a transgressor. Allah does not love the transgressors. The next verse says, slaughter them wherever you find them, and turn them out from where they turned you out. Verily, the slaughter is better than the trial or the test. And then you know the ayahs.
I know the second one. I'm trying to remember ayah 190. الآية سورة البقرة 190 و 191. قاتلوا لا.
You got the essence already. The word is qitl.
اقتلوهم حيث ثقفتموهم، فاقتلوهم حيث ثقفتموهم. والفتنة أشد من القتل.
In the order is waqtuluhum.
نعم.
It's like an order.
نعم. أيوة هي في الأمر يعني. واقتلوهم أمر يعني.
Now the correct word for translation is combat. To fight in combat, not slaughter. Because if you translate slaughter back to Arabic, it's dhabiha. Cut off their heads. That's why they say that.
إذن الآية تتكلم عن القتال في ساحة المعركة. اللفظ اللي استخدموه بالإنجليزي slaughter اللي هو لو ترجع ترجمه العربي الذبح، فغيروا المعنى الآن. ما أصبحت الموضوع موضوع متعلق بساحة المعركة والقتال، أصبح الموضوع ذبيحة. وين ما شفتوا اذبحوا.
The Noble Quran puts the word jihad. They use the word jihad. Jihad is declared, it says, and blah, 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 with these ayahs, so and so. And that's how they brought jihad. But jihad is not mentioned in these ayahs. Qitl is the word that's used. So if they would have said combat, which is what it meant, instead of trying to come up with another Arabic word and trying to promote a concept that came from a translator, it would have been better.
إذا في هذا السياق كله حتحصل كلمة الجهاد غير موجودة. الكلمة الموجودة هي القتال. فلو حصروا الموضوع في اللفظ اللي ورد وابتعدوا عن هذا اللفظ الثاني كنا يعني جنبنا هذه المشاكل كلها. بس هم جابوا لفظ غير موجود ووضعوه في الترجمة. واللفظ الموجود قتال وليس جهاد.
And they put it right in the verse because they use brackets and they say jihad right there. And this is where the news people, the websites, everything is attacking what we're doing, and they didn't catch it because if they would have used the word combat, this is what every country is doing right now. They're all in some kind of combat. Wherever they are, they're fighting, they call it combat. But when you say this is jihad, it's still an Arabic word they don't understand. They said, oh, it's a holy war. And there you have the problem.
إذن معلش I got distracted. The first thing you said, I remember the end, the first thing.
Well, if you weren't paying attention, why was I supposed to? No, it's okay. The main subject we're saying is that they used the word jihad instead of staying on the subject and say the word combat. The combat in Islam was never until after they moved to Medina and tell the story properly. But instead they were calling for jihad, which didn't say that in the Quran in these ayahs, not in Surah Al-Quran, and not in Surah Al-Ma'idah, and not in Surah At-Tawbah, not in any of the surahs that I see it saying jihad, jihad. We know what's jihad, don't get me wrong, but still, when you said it like this, you scare the people because you didn't translate, you interpreted in the same language.
الإشكال أنهم وضعوا بين قوسين عن هذا مفهوم القتال أنه جهاد، فأصبح الغير مسلمين والوسائل الإعلامية تحديدا صار لهم حجة علينا أنه هذه الآية اللي هي وردت في القتال هو هذا الجهاد فقط. فصار عندهم إشكال في لفظ الجهاد، واللي في ورد في سورة البقرة أو سورة المائدة أو سورة التوبة كلها ما تكلمت مباشرة عن الجهاد. ونحن ما ننكر الجهاد، أنتم عارفين ونحن عارفين إيش موضوع الجهاد، بس برضو من ناحية الترجمة يعني هم ما ترجموا لأنه ترجموا من لغة في نفس اللغة ترجموا العبارة وأضافوا لفظ جهاد والمفهوم والكلام عن القتال. فهذا سوء الترجمة فتح المجال لتخويف الناس، يعني صاروا يربطوا هذا بهذا وصار في سبب للنفرة عن الإسلام بسبب سوء الترجمة.
I just wanted to make that point because if you know how critical it is, please help us to get the right translations over there. I know the best thing is to know the Arabic, but many of these people are not Muslims and they already have the bad idea, so let's fix it. The Sahih International Translation right now is one of the best in the world. I have another one in Chicago also that's made this adjustment and they use the right word combat here instead of trying to say, oh, you're going to declare jihad and slaughter them. And so this is helping. So help us by not bringing the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? If you know that somebody's going to come over and you want to bring something over, Sahih International from here is one of the best, really. And they have some other stuff, other books that are also well translated by an American, a sister, mashallah, who has done excellent work on this. And by the way, it's right here in Jeddah. And inshallah, I'll be over there tomorrow, yeah? I'll be over there. What's the name of the store? Abu Qasim. Abu Qasim Publishing, yeah. It's, huh?
I'll give him the directions, I know the place.
You say it for me.
Beautiful. Do I translate first?
No, say what he said.
في دار أبو قاسم في الاتحاد شارع الصحافة، أول ما توصل عند الاتحاد يوترن، أول دخلة عديها، ثاني دخلة يمين، على يمينك مباشرة. دار أبو القاسم عندهم صحيح انترناشونال ترجمة القرآن أمام جريدة المدينة، عندهم الترجمة وكتب أخرى جيدة.
If you come tomorrow, bring a non-Muslim with you. I promise, inshallah, we'll do our best to show them the good thing about Islam.
إن كنت ارجع للأول. I'm going to go back to the beginning. The Sheikh said يعني هو عفوا الشيخ نبه عن موضوع هذه الترجمة عشان تساعد الشيخ في الدعوة. فلو واحد منكم يعني قدرا رايح برا أو يبغى يوزع فليختار يعني يبعد عن هذه النسخة اللي هي نوب القرآن المشهورة ويستخدم صحيح انترناشونال لأنه تعتبر فعلا من أدق وأفضل التراجم على الإطلاق. والأخت اللي ما شاء الله اللي ترجمتها أخت أمريكية هي قائمة بهذا الشيء وكل هذا الشغل صاير في جدة هنا. فنحاول إذا نروج النسخة الصحيحة اللي في التعبير استخدموا لفظ قتال وما استخدموا لفظ جهاد يعني أحسنوا الترجمة. وعندهم كتب أخرى موجودة برضو في دار أبو القاسم اللي أعطينا لكم عنوان أعطاكم شيخ العنوان من شوي.
Okay, I want to end with this one thing. Somebody asked Joha. You heard of Joha? Joha is the one with the himar, you know? Joha. I said, yeah, Joha. Give us mahadra. Give us a speech. We need from your speech. Give us a speech.
الشيخ قال حيذكر قصة جحا. تعرفون جحا؟ جحا والحمار. قال المهم جو ناس عند جحا قالوا نبغى منك خطاب محاضرة تلقي كلمة.
So he got in front of the people and he said, do you know what I'm going to talk about?
فوقف أمام الناس قال تعرفون عن إيش حأتكلم؟
They said no.
قالوا لا.
He said, so why should I waste my time talking to you?
ليش أضيع وقتي معكم؟ قال إذا ليش أضيع وقتي معكم؟
So they went to him, no, please go back, give a speech. We need a speech from you. Please go back, give a speech.
قالوا رجاء ارجع نبغى منك كلمة. ألقي كلمة ارجع ألقي كلمة.
So he went back, he said, do you know what I'm going to talk about? And they all said, yes.
قال لهم طيب راح مرة ثانية قال لهم عارفين عن إيش حتكلم؟ قالوا له أيوة عارفين.
He said, then why should I waste my time telling you what to do?
قال إذا ليش أضيع وقتي أخبركم حاجة أنتم عارفينها.
So another time they're trying to give a speech. He said, I don't want to. Give a speech. I don't want to. Finally they got him up there to give the speech. He said, do you know what I'm going to talk about?
أصروا عليه أرجوك أن تلقي كلمة وبعد مجاهدة. قال لهم لا. قال مجاهدة. قال لهم لا. قال أيوة المهم بالآخر وقف. قال طب عارفين عن إيش حأتكلم؟
So half of them said, yes we do. The other half said, no we don't.
نصهم قال عارفين والنص الثاني قال ما عارفين.
He said, okay, the half that know tell the half that don't know me well.
الجزء اللي النص اللي عارف يخبر اللي مو عارفين وحمل حاله مشي.
So alhamdulillah, inshallah you'll give me another chance to be with all of you again and we'll find out how it goes. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for letting me be with you tonight on this 20th anniversary of the service that you've been doing so well with and talk about our favorite subject, which is Islam and the respect that gives. Jazakumullah khair.
Questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Wait. All right, no, we'll do it this way. I'll ask you the questions, you give me the answers. Okay. No, just give me the answers, and I'll guess what the question was. Translate that. Just give me the answers. I'll guess what the question was. If I'm right, I get a prize. I go to the Bahamas or something like that.
We're doing today.
I win a free flight to the Bahamas.
يقلب الموضوع. أنتوا تعطوه الجواب هو يحضر السؤال. الجواب منكم هو يحضر إيش السؤال عن الجواب اللي أعطيتوه. إذا كان كذا تعطوه جائزة يروح يسافر برا. بهامس. They don't go for that. It worked on TV. Jeopardy is the name of the show. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah. Night? You want me to talk about night? He's the brother that drove me here from Mecca to Jeddah.
You talked about last couple of days in the FM radio. I get it.
Night?
Mike, please. So Mike.
When did I talk about it?
Last couple of days with the FM radio.
That's recorded. That was probably from 100 years ago.
Let's make it easier for you. Well, the question was the media.
Yes.
Okay. You got it? Okay, the media. This is the media maybe affects our changing in our Islam or like this, then you said it's not the media, it's on us. It's not the media. Okay, let's say that you give an example. If we have a knife, the knife we can cut fruits.
Yeah, a knife is used to cut fruit. A knife can be used to cut meat, but a knife can also damage people. You could hurt yourself or somebody else. Yeah.
So I like that. I like this example.
Actually, I got it from one of our scholars. Alhamdulillah.
Right, Sheikh, thank you for this speech. I would like to welcome 3 people. They join us. They're from the campaign. Actually, this campaign, before I give chance to the questions, this campaign is, as you can see here, the logo. It says, because I respect myself, I announce my respect. Okay. And actually, this campaign we do it. We not invite the people for the mosque to tell the lectures. We go to the people in the malls and the universities and to the people themselves to tell about this campaign, about akhlaq of the Islamic religion. I'd like to welcome 3 of the guys, Hassan Mutabbaq, Anas Sayyid, and Mr. Ayub. Hayakum Allah. Now, if anybody has question, we have here from Riyadh crew, Mr. Khalid Al-Khaldi has a question.
Bismillah, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam.
We send you regards from steward and supervisor, all the crew in Riyadh. They wish to come in here, but because they have flights and their job, they could not.
They could have grounded everybody and just come over here. And that's respect.
Yeah. They send their regards. Actually, they are one of the followers. One of them is really copying every CD or every episode you are doing. He's copying it, and he's working even with Sheikh Grain in Al-Batha. He's helping him. Everybody in there is send the regards to you. Even when I was coming, some of the hosts, they are sending the regards to you, and they wishing to have it. They will get it recorded later.
Yeah, where are they?
I have 2 questions. These 2 questions there, yeah.
Do we allow 2 in the same night?
No. These two actually one. Yeah. This
He gets into the business. Pay for the channel, then you can ask.
That's the question. Usually when we are talking to the girls and show Muslim to Islam or talking about dawah, they hit us with one question: why the Muslim is marrying 4? And usually it is happening with female, because most of the time we are having non-Muslim as a female flight attendant, and they are telling why the Muslim is having 4, why he will marry 4, and we still explain for them, and we are really not knowing what the correct answer to tell it to them, and the easiest way to let them understand this phrase.
Okay, what's the second question?
The second question is about transferring Quran. Actually, I'm the one, most of my work, alhamdulillah, is transferring Quran to all over the globe. Even I have some, alhamdulillah, inshallah, there is a class in it. Inshallah, we wish that it is for Allah. So when you are telling me this one, I was really surprised, because some of the Quran I was transferring is the one you are telling me about.
I know.
To London.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
No, stop.
But is the one from Al-Mujamma Al-Malik Fahd, is the one of it? Because I'm transferring now, I'm trying to take one from there. Some of the translating, whom I would know that they are translating. I get one Italian, one French, some of the other languages. And I see some people certifying it even from Al-Qasim, because Dar Al-Qasim is really working hard. They have a lot of translators and keeping track in their translating in Quran. No, that's Sahih. We are not talking about Sahih. We are talking about that and the translation.
Yeah.
But Sahih, this is the first time I know about it. So is it possible that I will get later on?
Yeah, one of the things that I'll start with your last question first. Here in the kingdom, there's a big hesitation amongst the scholars. I'm talking about the real big scholars. They hesitate, to try to translate from scratch. Because it's very dangerous to say Allah said something and He didn't say it. They made that decision many years ago when they decided to use the Yusuf Ali translation. And they said so in the beginning of the translation, that they took his thing that was so much better. I think I made a big mistake by just saying to the government here, I said to many of the shuyukh here, please do the Noble Quran. That was about 15 years ago. And so they started doing it. Many of us came together from America and said, please, we want it. But when he came out right away, it had a problem because in Surah Fatiha, what a daleen, and غَيْرُ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. And here's a translation that said, like Jews and Christians. Well, okay, we know it from Hadith. But why you put this right there in the ayah? It's in the ayah. As though that Allah said Jews and Christians there, and it didn't say that. So right away we have a problem. And many of the Americans refused it and sent it back. And then the next thing that I already mentioned about that, there's other words in there. There's so many things, many problems, like beating your wife, or duribahuna. And when you say beat, B-E-A-T, that is not a word that can be used there. I don't care who you are. You can't use that word because we know what beat means in English to us. Beat, that is not beat. It's not hard enough. That's hit. Beat is when you really get wow, this. That's beat. Can you do this to your wife? No way. How did you use that word to say that you could do that to her? With anything. When the most anybody could do, according to one alim, is to take the siwak and that's it. And I believe it was Dr. Zakir Knight, he said the most you could do is go like this to her. Are you okay?
I'm alright.
On Yom Kippur, he'll get his hawk on him. So you see how dangerous this is when somebody says beat. And it was over 100 years ago, Marmaduke Pickthall, I think, his translation to English, he said, scourge them. Now this is where you take a whip and you tie them up and you beat them until the blood is flying up in the air. This is what he said. It's still there today. I saw it this morning in the bookstore in Mecca. It's there. Scourge them. Astaghfirullah, man. It should be that we be responsible. We're so careful about the Arabic. Why aren't we careful about the other language? We should say, we don't represent that. If we found it's a mistake, please take it off, get rid of that. Don't use it. Because it gives a very bad impression. Many of the people are afraid of Islam because these women are thinking to come to Islam. They're much more afraid of that than they are your first question. The first question about 4 wives. This, by the way, the answer, shakegoogle.com. If you go there, just type in the word wives. You can put 4, F-O-R-E, no, F-O-R, F-O-U-R. I don't know English anymore. I think Spanish or something, I don't know, Chinese. F-O-U-R, wives, 4 wives. And it will come up with the answer, how you answer the question. First question I would ask them, how many Muslims do you know got 4 wives? Only in a few countries do you find anybody has more than 1 wife. Very few, very few, very few. But by the way, even if they did, ask the woman, because she's the one that has the right to refuse. Why did she accept it? Nobody can force. Chapter 4, An-Nisa, verse 19, O you who believe, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, you do not inherit women against their will. You cannot marry a lady if she doesn't want to be married to you. So if you said, I got a wife, you want to be my wife too? If she said, no, okay, that's it. If she said, okay, yeah, okay, so what? Because in their country, ask them, how many girlfriends can you have? How many? No limit. How many boyfriends can they have? No limit. How many boyfriends and girlfriends can you have? No limit. What if you're married? So what? So what? So what's the problem of legalizing your love according to what Allah said in Quran? But look how He said it too. Isna, thalatha, arba. But if you can't treat them equally, then only one. And Allah will ask you. He makes it clear again and again in the Quran. He is going to ask you how you treat the women. How about talaq? Look how Allah talks to you about talaq in the Quran. And those people have nothing, no problem with talaq. No big deal. No, it's a big deal for us. If a man says it 3 times, he loses his wife. And he can't get her back. Unless she marries somebody else. And they have to talaq her, and then he would marry her back. That's the only way. So this is a big subject. Again, I would say that translation makes it difficult. People don't understand. But for sure, Muslims are #1 in the world for having only one wife, marrying her and staying married to her until they die. From Indonesia to Africa, all the Muslims in between, that's the majority. They marry one, they stay married to one until they die. There are exceptions, but that's what they are, exceptions. Good question.
طيب عندك سؤال؟ طيب تسمح لي بعد السؤال هذا؟ طيب Sheikh, for us as a flight attendant, it's our pleasure to be your transferer or delivery. Okay. Who can help inshallah in your da'wah. It's our pleasure. طيب what's your advice for the flight attendant, and especially the flight attendants because they are traveling all around the world?
That's a very good question. I travel around the world too. So much that when people ask me, where do you live? I tell them my family lives in Escondiria, Virginia. But I live in Samsonite luggage. Because I'm always traveling. I'm never stopping traveling. Ever since I started this campaign over 11 years ago, I'm going from country to country, state to state, in and out, city to city, all the time. In fact, when Harris and I land on Tuesday, we land in America on Tuesday. We're taking the flight out early Tuesday morning. Is anybody going to America on that Tuesday flight? Anybody? No?
We'll know, yes, sir. We'll know.
Tuesday morning, real early. If you go, will you be there with me? Me and Harris and my wife.
To Washington?
To Washington D.C. You know that one?
We will know.
That's the Obama country. You know, I tease the people in America. You know what I say? I say, oh, I'm so happy we have our new president, Obama. And they always laugh. They love that. But to come back to this, the subject, you know, it is that when you're going around, people are looking at you really hard. So if you're kind and you're taking care of the people, that's the most important thing. Because they got on the flight to go somewhere and you're making it easy for them. They are Musafir. Even if they're not Muslim, their dua is still answered by Allah. You know that. Even if they pray to some rock or a stick or to Jesus, still their dua is going to be answered by Allah. Don't violate their rights, because Allah can punish you. Now, how should I treat them though? maybe they say something bad or something like that. Don't give them a chance to make you angry. Just keep taking care of them. Keep taking care of them and tell them, if you would like to know more about real Islam, I would be happy to tell you how you can find out. If you really want to know, I would be happy to tell you. But don't tell them until they ask you. Yeah, I want to know. Now, I have a DVD. You got one with you? No. That's my fault. I didn't bring it. I have one in the hotel. Inshallah. Can you get it? Okay. This DVD is... Why is this doing this? The DVD has, I think, maybe the best project we've ever done for Dawah on a single DVD. Because it's the combined efforts of everything we've done over the years, and it's really concentrated, it's nice setting, it has graphics, it looks good. Now, when you get it, it's brand new, we just now released it. When you get it, you copy it. But when you copy it, don't put a pretty label on it. Just get a black magic marker, a big fat one, and put a big question mark on it. That's all. Put it in a nice container to protect it, and give it to them. Then they're going to look at this question mark. They'll be like, what's that? You say, I have a question. I have a question. Everybody wants to answer questions. They love that. Yeah, especially Muslims. Give them this and say, I have a question. And they will take it fast. And they'll look at it. What is this? You say, after you play it, I want to ask the question. Well, what is it? It's a guy from Texas talking about religion. Oh, okay. A guy from Texas talk about religion? Okay, no problem. I'll watch it. And then you can put your phone number or your email on there. What will happen? They'll see it and they'll say, hey, whoa, I didn't know this stuff. And then when they write to you or call you, they'll say, what's your question? And my question is, how did you like it?
Smart.
How do you like it? And what will happen? You open the door, you gave him the message, you're off the hook. You're not in trouble with Allah anymore. You did your best, I did my best. We together will all get the ajr. Look at this. If you're putting these out with a question mark, no government will even get mad at you. It doesn't say anything. It's just a question. Even the airline won't get mad at you. Nobody's going to get mad. It's a question. He asked me, I gave him this, and I said, I have a question. That's it. And by the way, the audio from this, I did it originally as audio. Hillary Clinton loved it. She wanted us to give 50,000 of these to the New York police departments all over the state of New York. But I couldn't get the money to produce it. I couldn't. The Muslims in America would not do it. They would say, oh, may Allah help you. So, okay, what about you? And Allah help me too. No, that's not my point. Anyway, that's a good question.
Sheikh, do you have any account number
Supporting.
If anybody wants to support the work that we're doing, there's a number of ways they can do it. They can do it through account numbers, and they can send it there. But I opened up another business up in UK, so you don't have to deal with America, and it's a lot better. This dealing in UK actually is even better. And another is that actually right here, we have a project right here, and you can contact the brothers here, and maybe you can help them to contact my son-in-law, Ahmed, and he has everything right here. So you can do that.
Please give us his phone number, please.
Yeah. I don't know it off the top of my head, but...
Ahmed's number?
Yeah.
Shall I go to him now? Please.
You got a microphone?
Write it down.
Right now he's coming back from Umrah. He has 45 students from Medina. He just brought them down for Umrah last night, and now they're on their way back. And I spent all morning with them talking about how we can do good when they get back home to their families to teach Islam to them. The same thing I'm telling you is what I was telling them this morning. So now you can feel really educated.
رقمه لأحمد اسمه أحمد الكردي. أحمد الكردي طالب في الجامعة الإسلامية في المدينة. رقمه 05 أبشر 05 01 08 أقل من كده 91 31 عيد 05 01 08 91 31 أحمد الكردي.
Actually, this is his own nickname for himself, because his grandparents are from Kurdistan. Yeah, but they're actually from Syria, Damascus.
Can we take more questions?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Thank you. طيب عندنا سؤالين. في أحد ثاني مين اللي عنده الأسئلة؟ طيب 1 2 3 4 5. طيب can we also take the translation too?
Up to you.
Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته جميعا. فضيلة الشيخ, we really thank you very much for what you've done and what you are doing for Islam, and we really appreciate that. My question is, I'm really curious about those you call it church leaders or priests or whatever you call them. Yes. We know what Christians view or idea about Islam, but we don't know those people's idea or view about Islam. Could you please give us more idea, or how do they think about Islam? Thank you very much.
It's a very good question. Actually, not all of them are the same. Many of them, they are okay, and some even they like Islam. Some are even given Shahada. But there are some really bad ones, and they hate Islam so much. They don't care what it is. They just know that people leave Christianity for Islam, so they hate it, and they plug up their ears, close their eyes, and scream real loud, make a lot of noise, and there's no way to reach these guys. I tried. But there are good people. There are some people almost Muslim, some make shahadas, and some actually they're very, very bad. And we make dua for all of them.
نعم السؤال كان عن نعم الأخ أولا شكر الشيخ على الجهود، بعدين قال نعرف احنا موقف المسلمين من النصارى وموقف النصارى من المسلمين، بس تحديدا القسيسين والرهبان حق النصارى ايش موقفهم من الإسلام؟ فالشيخ ذكر أنهم على مراتب ليسوا سواء، منهم ناس يعني معتدلين، ومنهم ناس يعني نطقوا الشهادة على يد الشيخ يعني دخلوا في الإسلام، ومنهم من له عداوة للإسلام عداوة شديدة، وهم جهل أصلا ما يعرفون الإسلام، كل اللي يعرفون أنه من النصارى من يترك النصرانية ويروح للإسلام، فأصبح عندهم عداوة للإسلام بسبب هذا الشيء. وعلى كل حال فهم ليسوا على مرتبة واحدة، والشيخ قال ندعو لهم جميعا طبعا بالإذاعة، منهم من يعني اشتغل معهم وحاول يدعوهم للإسلام، فيعني كما ذكر الله عز وجل عن قوم نوح جعلوا أصابعهم في أذانهم واستغزوا ثيابهم وأصروا واستكبروا استكبارا، يعني وضعهم مفروغ منه.
I don't really know if there's exact way
Yes.
to approach everybody. I always think about people as being individuals, whether they're the priests or if they're just the common people. It looks to me like everybody is different, so I treat each one the way that I think they can understand the message.